Welcome back, children. So coming to today's class in wave optics, we'll be studying about Young's double slit experiment. So hope you remember in the previous class we have discussed about what is interference and then what are the conditions for constructive and destructive interference. So what is the basic condition to get the interference of light? So first, the two sources which are emitting waves should be coherent in nature, and I told you how to get a coherent source of light. And if two sources are coherent, what are the conditions for path difference and phase difference for constructive interference? Okay, hope you remember these conditions. For constructive interference, phase difference should be integral multiple of pi, 2n pi, whereas path difference between the two interfering waves should be n lambda. Okay, these are the two conditions for phase difference and path difference for constructive interference to take place. And for destructive interference, what are the conditions? Phase difference between the two interfering waves should be 2n minus 1 pi, or path difference. What should the path difference be? 2n minus 1 lambda divided by 2. So these are the two conditions what we have discussed. And when the two sources are coherent, then if constructive interference condition is satisfied, that leads to a bright fringe, and if destructive interference is satisfied, it leads to a dark fringe. Now in today's class we are going to see a very famous experiment which is called Young's double slit experiment. Okay, in short we write it as YDSE. I repeat, it is Young's double slit experiment, and making use of this experimental arrangement, I will tell you how do we calculate the width of dark fringe as well as the width of bright fringe. So this is what we'll be doing in today's class. So let us start with the experimental arrangement of YDSE, that is Young's double slit experimental arrangement. Okay, look at the experimental arrangement. It consists of a monochromatic source of light. Okay, let S be a monochromatic source of light. So light coming from this source is made to pass through a cardboard containing two vertical slits. Okay, I'll call this as S1 and S2. So the source of light is placed equidistant from S1 and S2. So S1 and S2 is a cardboard containing two slits. Okay, I have named the two slits as S1 and S2. So hope you remember this is a method of obtaining coherent sources. So now S1 and S2 behave as two coherent sources of light. So the light coming from these two sources will interfere, and you can observe the interference pattern on a screen which is placed perpendicular to the plane of the board at a large distance, that is capital D. The distance between these two sources, we take it as 2 times of small d, okay, to make our derivation convenient. If you want, you can take it as d and modify the derivation accordingly. So I took the distance between the two slits as 2d. Distance between the slit screen and the screen, it is capital D. Now on the screen, in a dark room, you can observe alternately arranged dark and bright bands. Okay, so this pattern we call it as the fringe pattern. Okay, we get alternate dark and bright fringes. Bright fringe is because of constructive interference, and dark region in between two bright regions is called a dark fringe, and that is because of destructive interference. So in this class, or based on this experimental arrangement, we are going to find out what is the thickness of each fringe. Okay, what will be the thickness of bright fringe as well as the thickness of dark fringe. So this is the basic experimental arrangement of Young's double slit experiment. So I again repeat, you have a monochromatic source of light of a single wavelength. This is made to pass through two vertical slits which are very close to each other, separated by a distance 2d. And perpendicular or parallel to the slit screen, we put another screen here, and on the screen you can observe alternate dark and bright bands, and this is called a fringe pattern. Distance between these two is taken as capital D and distance between the slits is taken as 2D. Okay, like the wavelength of the light used to be equal to lambda. Now from this experiment, as I told you, we will be finding out the fringe width. So to determine the fringe width, I will show you the same diagram from the top view. Okay, look at the diagram and let's see how to find out the fringe width. Okay, look at the top view of this experimental arrangement. This is a point source of light. Assume that these are the two slits, S1 and S2, and here is your screen. A line which is passing through S. I'll mark this point as O. Okay, from S1 also you take a reference line. Let this be N. And from S2, call this point as equal to N. So the two slits are actually into the plane of the bow. What is the distance we took between them? It is 2D. And the distance of the screen from the slits, it is capital D. So on the screen we are going to get alternate dark and bright regions. What did we call these alternate dark and bright regions as? Fringe pattern. A dark band, a bright band, and so on. Okay, now we are interested in finding out what is the width of this fringe. Okay, so first let us find out what is the width of the fringe. Later on I will tell you what is the use of studying this Young's double slit experiment. It is not only proving that interference is observed by making use of light waves. Second thing is, there are some more applications regarding this Young's double slit experiment. So this is your experimental arrangement, okay, when viewed from the top. Okay, so for determining the fringe width, so first let us select a point P on the screen. So which is at a distance y from the center O. Okay, again I repeat, we are going to find out the fringe width of these fringes. So for determining the fringe width, first I have selected a point P on the screen, which is at a distance y from the center O. Then look at the waves which are emerging from S1 and S2. Since S1 and S2 are two coherent sources, S1 to P. And this is a line joining from S2 to P. So what is the path difference between these two waves? See, S2P is travelling more distance when compared with S1P. So S2P minus S1P. We call this as the path difference, because this path difference is going to decide whether the point P is bright or dark. As we have discussed, if path difference is n lambda, it will give you a bright fringe. If path difference is 2n minus 1 lambda by 2, it will give you a dark fringe. So to calculate the path difference between S2P and S1P, so I am going to give you two different alternative methods. Okay, so let us look at the first method. This is the NCRT method. One more method also we have, that is not the NCRT method, by making use of angles. So to calculate the path difference, so look at this triangle S1, P and N. So from triangle S1, P, M. S1P is hypotenuse. So S1P square should be equal to S1M, that is D square, plus. See, what will this distance from M to P be? O to M, the distance is D. O to P distance is 1. So I can write M to P distance as y minus small d. So write it y minus small d whole square. Similarly, from triangle S2PN, from triangle S2P capital N, S2 is P is the hypotenuse, should be D square plus distance from N to P is y plus small d. So this one I will write y plus d whole square. Now I need S2P minus S1P. Subtract the two relations, S2P square minus S1P square. What will you get? d square will anyway get cancelled. A plus b whole square minus a minus b whole square, you will get 4ab. And we know s2p square minus s1p square can be written as s2p minus s1p, this is the part difference, into s2p plus s1p, and this should be 4 into y into small d. So this is part difference. Now here we are going to make use of one approximation. Okay, since the distance between the two slits is extremely small, okay, when compared with capital D is generally taken much larger than S1, S2 distance. So if this distance is very, very small and capital D is very large, this slant line S1P is approximately equal to capital D. Again, I repeat the approximation. If distance between the two slits is much smaller than capital D, you can approximately write S1P as almost equal to capital D, S2P is almost equal to capital D. This is an approximation. So S2P plus S1P, this two can be written as D plus D. Should be 4y into small d. So from this relation, tell me what is your part difference coming out to be. Okay, I can write part difference between the two intersecting waves as 4yd by 2d, that is nothing but 2y small d divided by capital D. So remember this relation. This is one way of evaluating the part difference between the two interfering waves. Look at one more way, that is an alternative method to find out the part difference. For that, from center to P, I will draw one more line. Okay, let this angle be theta. Again I repeat, from the center of the two slits to the point where you are finding out the part difference and drawing one line, let this angle be equal to theta. Draw a perpendicular from S1 on S2P. I'll call this point as Q. This angle also will be equal to theta. See, angle between this horizontal line and O to P or center to P, if it is theta, when you drop a perpendicular, this angle also will be equal to theta. Now we are going to compare these two triangles and find out the part difference. See, if I drop a perpendicular, is S2Q giving me the extra distance covered by S2P? Because S1P is nearly equal to QP. This gives you the part difference. So what is part difference now? S2Q. So from triangle S1Q, tell me what is tan theta equal to? So the alternative method for finding out the part difference. What is the part difference? S2Q will give me the part difference. So from this triangle S1Q, theta is very, very small. Tan theta tends to theta. What can I write? Theta as equal to opposite and this distance. Okay, so since theta is very small, tan theta and sin theta tends to theta. So I can write from this small triangle, theta as S2Q is the part difference divided by the distance between the slits, that is 2D. So I will write theta as S2Q divided by 2D. Similarly, from this triangle, okay, let me name this triangle as S dash, this point as S dash PO. Theta is very small. So what is tan theta from this triangle? Okay, you can write theta as opposite side y by adjacent side as capital D. Here we took sin theta, anyway sin theta tends to theta, tan theta also tends to theta when they are very, very small. Now equate both of them. S2Q gives me part difference. Part difference divided by 2D should be equal to y divided by capital D. So what is your part difference between the two interfering waves? Part difference is equal to 2y small d divided by capital D. So this is also one of the methods for evaluating the part difference between the two interfering waves. But NCERT method is this method. So whichever is convenient, you can use that for your derivation. So the step 1, we have calculated the path difference between the two interfering waves at this particular point P. Now from this we are going to find out the condition for constructive and destructive interference. Okay, so now that we know what is the path difference between the two interfering waves, okay, tell me what is the path difference? Okay, we have got the path difference as 2y into small d divided by capital D. And now, depending on this path difference, the point P can have two cases. Okay, the point P can be bright if it is undergoing constructive interference. It can be dark if it is undergoing destructive interference. So first, case 1. If the point P is bright, it's a bright fringe. Okay, what is the condition for a bright fringe? Path difference must be an integral multiple of lambda. So equate it to lambda. 2y small d by capital D should be equal to n lambda. So what is y equal to? N times of lambda capital D divided by 2d. So this gives me, I call it as yn. Remember, yn gives you the distance of nth bright fringe from the central fringe. Say if you go back to the diagram, if these are the two slits S1 and S2. Okay, so this was the point P what we have selected where alternate dark and bright bands were observed. So this point P, if it is bright, okay, did we call this as distance y? What does this yn give you? The distance of nth bright fringe, and we call this point as the central fringe. So from central fringe, yn is going to give me the distance of nth bright fringe. And once you know the distance of nth bright fringe, you can find out the width of dark fringe. See, because we have alternately arranged dark and bright fringes, between two consecutive bright fringes, you have a dark fringe. So I'll find out the distance between nth bright fringe and n minus 1th bright fringe. That will give me the width of dark fringe. Again I repeat, we have alternately arranged dark and bright fringes. Between two consecutive bright fringes, we will have a dark fringe. So how to get the width of a dark fringe? Distance between two consecutive bright fringes. So fringe width we represent by the letter beta. Beta dark is equal to yn minus yn minus 1. Okay, yn is the distance of nth bright fringe. Yn minus 1 is the distance of n minus 1th bright fringe. So the distance between them will give me the width of dark fringe. Calculate. Yn is n times of lambda capital D by 2d minus n minus 1 lambda capital D by 2d. See, when you subtract, you will get the answer lambda capital D by 2. So what is the width of the dark fringe in Young's double slit experiment? It is lambda capital D divided by 2d. So one case we have considered and calculated the width of dark fringe. Again I repeat, we have got the path difference. If path difference is n lambda, the point P is going to be bright. So from there I have evaluated distance of nth bright fringe. Between two consecutive bright fringes, we have a dark fringe. So distance between two consecutive dark fringes had given me, consecutive bright fringes gave me the width of dark fringe. Okay, now I will do the reverse. Case 2. If the point P is dark. Okay, let's see what modification we have to do in this arrangement. Okay, now coming to case 2. If the point P is dark. Okay, what is the condition for getting a dark fringe? Path difference should be 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. So equate it to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. 2y small d by capital D is 2n minus 1 lambda divided by 2. So from this find out what is y. I'll call this as yn, but this is going to give me distance of nth dark fringe from center. So what is yn equal to? 2n minus 1 by 2 lambda capital D divided by 2d. Okay, let me keep this lambda capital D by 2d in a bracket. See, did we get the distance of nth nth dark fringe? How to get the width of a bright fringe? Bright fringe lies between two consecutive dark fringes. So the width of bright fringe is yn minus yn minus 1. So where yn is the distance of nth dark fringe and yn minus 1 is the distance of n minus 1th dark fringe. Substitute the values. Yn is 2n minus 1 by 2 lambda capital D by 2d minus, in the place of n I have to put n minus 1. So in the place of n, write it as n minus 1. If this becomes n minus 1, you will get 2n minus 2 minus 1 will be minus 3 by 2 lambda capital D by 2d. Take out lambda capital D by 2d common. And the remaining terms I am writing here, 2n minus 1 minus 2n plus 3 whole divided by 2. This is only a mathematical simplification. 3 minus 1 by 2, this also will get cancelled. So what is the width of your bright fringe? Are we getting the answer lambda capital D divided by 2d? Okay, now you will understand that whatever was the width of the bright fringe, the same is the width of dark fringe. And how much is the width given by? Lambda capital D by 2d. Remember here 2d itself is the distance between the two coherent sources. And capital D is the distance between the slits and the screen. So larger the value of capital D, more will be your fringe width. Smaller the distance between the two slits, larger will be your fringe width. So using this experimental arrangement, what is the final conclusion that you can give? The width of dark as well as the bright fringes in Young's double slit experiment is given by the relation lambda into capital D divided by 2d. Okay, both of them are of same width. So this is how, by using Young's double slit experimental arrangement, okay, we would evaluate the fringe width.